The COVID crisis has distracted us from the larger disease plaguing our system. It may have taken our world by surprise, put our global healthcare system under tremendous pressure, and posed our interconnected global economies. But during the time COVID rearranged the way we live, some changes remain constant. This year's abnormal hurricane season has started much earlier in the US, with more than twice the number of named storms versus the average between 1981 and 2010, causing tens of billions of dollars of damage. The 2020 Atlantic hurricane season is so intense that the US National Hurricane Center ran out of storm names. Storms are now getting stronger and are lasting longer. Locust plagues have laid waste to dozens of African countries. Swarms, sometimes 3 times the size of New York City, are estimated to cause $8.5 billion of damage, according to the World Bank. Wildfires have turned California into a replica of Blade Runner 2049, with ghastly orange-lit sky in the middle of the day. California has seen a 52% increase in fires, with 7,606 blazes so far compared to 2019. 5 of the top largest fires in California's history have occurred in 2020. The climate clock keeps on ticking every day with a frightening tempo. But that is no different from last year. We have ample evidence that our world is heading towards climate hell. And this is raising serious anxiety across all generations, but even more specifically for our kids. We first noticed this in our own family back in April 2019 at a Sunday lunch when my 4 sons challenged my wife and I to find a way to secure their future. For the previous 3 years, in my role as National Innovation Director for Deloitte Canada and member of the Global Innovation Executive Team, I came home with great stories about existing technologies that could solve our environmental challenges. Frustration grew over time in our household, until that Sunday lunch when they asked us, "You've shown that these solutions exist, so why are they not scaled?" We know that fear is overwhelming. As Frank Herbert said, fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. We have to confront our fear, or else it will prevent positive action. I'm Bernard Lebel, founder of The Green Link, a pragmatic, optimistic problem solver and recovering long-time international strategy and innovation consultant. I'm here today to tell you that despite the increasingly pessimistic conversation, I'm convinced that we still have time to save our planet from the changing climate. I know that existing technologies can be leveraged to create a sustainable future. In April 2019, at our family lunch, I told our son that curbing the environmental trend is easy, but not simple. I believe that this message will give you the confidence to act in each one of your organizations around the world. Let me explain. Securing a sustainable future is easy because we all know what needs to be done. Most people tend to forget that there was life before humans. And make no mistakes, there will be life after humans. But if we want to maintain human life on Earth, what we need is to secure 7 essential building blocks: agriculture, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, responsible consumption and production, reduce climate impact, ensured biodiversity below water, secure biodiversity on land. Securing a sustainable future is easy because for each of these things, we know what we need to do. Promote and implement regenerative agriculture technologies and practices. Reduce water pollution. Switch to renewable energies. Create less waste and unrecyclable product. Aim towards carbon neutrality and put a clamp on greenhouse gas emission. And stop destroying natural ecosystem. Easy, right? A program that almost every kid can grasp. Grown-ups can understand it, even company leaders can too. Securing a sustainable future is easy because we make new discoveries every week, either by improving existing technologies or through brand new breakthroughs. Just 2 examples to make it concrete. In new materials, I'll highlight silicate perovskite, which is a viable silicon-based alternative to solar panels. It is present in abundance on Earth, and perovskite promises a 25% increase in output and will be 5 times cheaper to manufacture than today's solar panel, bringing the cost of a watt of energy further down to 20 cents. Innovators too are gaining recognition all over the world. Fionn Ferreira, a 19-year-old Google Science Award recipient, invented a solution to remove microplastic from water using a mix of magnetite powder, a plentiful mineral on Earth's surface, and leftover vegetable oil from fast food chains. We have the innovations and the innovator here today who are able to help us take on the climate challenge. Securing a sustainable future is easy because what we have learned from our COVID-19 pose is that nature has an impressive ability to recover. Remember the Venice canals, with jellyfish reclaiming their natural space as water went free from boats. Remember the clear day or night sky in New Delhi, something unseen in the last 3 decades. Remember how wild animals reclaimed urban environment in Nara, Japan, or Llandudno in Wales. And for those of you who remember Chernobyl, and not the Netflix show, we also have the same type of scenery in the Ukraine, where over the last 30 years, nature took over mankind. Nature definitely has the ability to reclaim its space and recover. There will be life after humans. The first good news is that it's not too late. We still have time. Now why? Because technology improves at an exponential rate and the human mind thinks linearly, not exponentially. Look at the International Energy Agency experts' projections of yearly added solar panel capacity versus reality. As you can see, each progression was usually beaten around 7 years earlier than forecasted. Look at space exploration. Did you know that it cost the Indian government $145 million to send a probe on the moon? That's $10 million less than what it cost Hollywood to make the sci-fi movie Interstellar. There's a clear disconnect between projections and the exponential pace of scientific progress. And so, we still have time. Because if you take an optimistic view, current projection seldom factors in technological efficiency quantum leaps. And it's easy to understand what needs to be done. I told my 4 sons that curbing the environmental trend is easy, but not simple. Let me unpack that. It's easy because we already have technologies that can change the world now. Let me give you a couple of real examples of existing technologies that can help move the needle on our sustainable development goals. In food and agriculture, look at Solum from Montreal. Founded in 2015 by François Roy-Moisan and Gabriel Duprat, Solum provides sun as a service. They are leveraging artificial intelligence to dynamically recreate, perfect, and modulate the full spectrum of the sun's natural light using LED. The results? A 25% reduction in the growth cycle of lettuce that met the high-quality standards in color, texture, and taste from the Chef's Garden, a company offering home-delivered fresh vegetables. On a dual trial on radish, Solum's radishes were bigger, more visually appealing, and maintained freshness and taste after 20 days of refrigeration. Theoretically, I could, as of tomorrow, use Solum solution in a repurposed coal mine to start growing nutritious organic tomatoes as if they had grown in sunny Italian Tuscany, ensuring access to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food all year round. Now, what about ensuring biodiversity below water? Well, we can today enroll the help of robotics. LarvaBot is a subsea drone that was created by Matthew Dunbabin from Australia. LarvaBot is able to cover an area of 3 hectares of degraded reef in 6 hours and spread coral larvae to help the Great Barrier Reef recover. Responsible consumption and production is a vast theme. We need to think circular economy, full recyclability, and upcycling. And part of that starts with collecting waste and understanding where trash and litter is. Well, that's what Jeff Kirshner, the founder of Litterity, is focused on. Providing an app leveraging Google Maps and social media to geotag where pieces of litter can be found. And the combined power of digital geotagging and crowdsourced efforts already led to significant changes through both bottom-up and top-down approaches. For example, 5th graders school kids realized plastic straw were the most common piece of trash found in their schoolyard, and they petitioned their school principal to stop buying this straw, therefore reducing single-use plastic usage. And recently, the Netherlands literary community shared litter data with the Dutch government to help them rethink the deposit return scheme. This led to the introduction of a deposit return scheme of 15 cents on all plastic bottles smaller than a liter coming into effect next year. When it comes to climate change and your carbon footprint, especially if you're a B2B service provider or even individuals, it can be trickier to achieve your greenhouse gas Scope 3 goals. At the GreenLink, one of the technologies we leverage is Avery Michelson's UCapture solution from the United States. Through a combination of partnership with online e-commerce platform, UCapture gave us the ability to ensure that our collective and individual online purchases can contribute to certified reforestation projects. Through a clever crowdsourced approach of both consumers and merchants, UCapture's technology and network can help us aim towards carbon neutrality in our purchases. Now, with my team and our extended TechScout network, we have already identified more than 300 planet-proven solutions on these critical sustainable development goals. So let me walk you through a few more. To grow local food to feed the many cities, we also have Alaska Life from Beijing, whose container farm product offers a turnkey precision farming solution for commercial-scale food production. To support the promotion of regenerative agriculture, Fluorosat from Australia provides satellite imagery and remote sensing tools to monitor tillage practices and crop identification. For clean water, we can look to WaterGen from Israel, who have created wind traps capable of extracting moisture out of thin air, even in the middle of the desert. To remove greenhouse gas, we can turn to Carbon Engineering from Canada, who have developed a technology to extract CO2 out of the atmosphere for less than $100 per ton. And to recycle the plastic, we think of Earthquake from France, which has found a clever way to transform plastic back into fuel, and whose Chrysalis solution can transform 160 kilos of plastic waste into 120 liters of diesel. We have off-the-shelf, planet-proven solution in existence. The not simple part of curbing climate change is that there is no one-stop solution to cater for every environmental problem. The World Economic Forum Sustainable Development Impact Summit 2020 confirmed a common thread we recognized when we started our company. What emerged from panelists and conversation was this: there is no silver bullet when it comes to sustainability. However, when you consider solutions as pieces of a puzzle, what you need to focus on is creating a solution set. With close to 8 billion people on the planet, someone, somewhere has a piece of the solution. And that is how we approach sustainability as a service at the GreenLink. Let me illustrate this with the recent work we conducted for the World Wildlife Fund on a reforestation project CO2 capture monitoring and reporting processes. The original approach was to rely on searching for a single solution to acquire and process satellite imagery to recognize the different species of trees and compute how much CO2 is being captured. A silver bullet, so to speak. In less than 6 weeks, our team was able to identify a dozen companies, of which 5 specifically suited the WWF requirements. The solution set we designed combined existing proven technology. We were able to identify solutions which together could acquire and process imagery from satellite, high-altitude planes, drone and all-terrain vehicles, use AI-based visual recognition engines with machine learning capabilities to learn how to recognize new species of trees. This solution set was a combination of international existing and available solutions which are mature, proven technologies ready to be implemented. Together, they had the power to solve for the WWF challenge as of tomorrow. So no need for any more hackathon, no more reinventing the wheel. Everything starts with designing an ambitious sustainability strategy and being clear about what are the operational and environmental challenges that needs to be addressed. Once the strategy roadmap is designed, then all that is needed is to specify which environmental challenge need to be tackled first, and to do a round-the-world scan of existing planet-proven technologies, which together can make an efficient solution set for the specific context. Let's be clear about one thing. Though it's easy to understand what needs to be done, it's not simple to execute, as we need to combine technologies for each unique context. The not simple part of curbing climate change is that there is no one-size-fits-all solution set. Though companies exist in industries, they all have individual requirements and specific contexts. There is no one-size-fits-all for our world of diversified landscapes, industries, supply and demand. Companies have individual requirements and require teams who can find the right combination of technologies to support the transition. As Project Drawdown rightfully said in their latest report, climate solutions are interconnected as a system and we need all of them. So what can we achieve together? Well, nothing short but securing our collective sustainable future. Let's start by agreeing that sustainability is the new reality for any business. Business growth and sustainability are not mutually exclusive to one another. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, the world's largest private investor, rightfully asserted that companies that do not improve on sustainability won't be in business by the end of the decade. What does that mean concretely? Take the example of an insurance company. If they do not improve or help improve, well, chances are that by 2030, with the climate crisis taking an even bigger toll on economies, disaster recovery and the likes, no one will be able to afford the rising prices of insurance premium. Even organizations like the US Navy need to take into consideration the rising sea level. $100 billion of US assets in naval bases, ports and harbor infrastructure will be under the water as sea level rises. Though their ships will still be afloat, of course. Having sustainability at the core of your strategy is the only smart move any business leader can make. Sustainability will benefit and can work to unite every part of your business. The CEO is responding to the shareholders' request. The CFO has easier conversations with financial institutions. Marketing has a competitive advantage to enhance the brand. And it goes beyond that. At human and employee level, human resources can attract and retain talent who see sustainability as a core personal value. More and more employees are demanding action. Knowing that they are part of a company taking the right step to take on climate change is hugely impactful. Each employee can come home with great positive stories to tell their kids and great pride to be part of the journey. Let's start by agreeing that sustainable human life is the result of the sum of each organization's effort across the world to implement their unique solution set of environmental technologies. Now we can choose to waste time pointing fingers at what should have been done, rely on individual isolated actions, or opt in to a degrowth mentality. But guess what? None of this addresses the issues at hand today. The stock of plastic in the sea, greenhouse gas in the air, or landfill seeping toxic into soil and causing health hazards. What we need is for every organization to embrace one simple fact. Improving its environmental footprint is the foundational good business strategy moving forward. We have seen an exponential growth of enlightened business leaders making such wise strategic moves. Just look at sciencebasedtarget.org. This website hosts a public list of companies that are pledging to improve. The number of companies that take the pledge has doubled every year since 2015. If you're still a skeptic, take a look at world industry leaders like Apple or Velux. Apple has committed to become carbon neutral and is helping its supplier achieve this as well, because they're all part of their industry value chain ecosystem. And Velux, the roof window company, has pledged not only to secure carbon neutrality going forward, but also to compensate their greenhouse gas emission since their creation in 1941. Not only pledging for the future, but taking accountability for environmental misconduct of the past. Another final positive side effect is that companies committed to implementing these technologies will create new direct local jobs. And for 5 new direct jobs, another 20 indirect local jobs will also be created in education, health, services, and food. All of this contributes to enhancing the resiliency of local economic communities. A corporate environmental tsunami is underway, and you have the ability to act. It's a question of how, when, and how quickly you will adjust. I'm convinced we still have time to act and that existing technologies can be leveraged to create our collective sustainable future. My message is this: sustainability is the most important business strategy moving forward. This path is easy because we know what we have to do, but not simple because we need unique solution set for each organization. We have the talents, the tools, and the technology to build our sustainable future together. Gen X and millennials are the only two generations that can really make a difference now. By pairing experience with passion and new talent development, we can drive the change. We are in the driving seats and we are accountable to future generations. At the Green Link, we believe that this change lies in leveraging exponential technologies to secure our collective future. Finally, to reframe John Fitzgerald Kennedy's words, ask not what your planet can do for you, ask what you can do for your planet. Thank you.